everybody, this is Jeff. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about strumming. I had a friend who wrote me and said he had been learning the guitar for years, but he just couldn't get the strumming right, and he wondered if I might make a couple comments on how to do that, how to learn how to strum better. And I am not the greatest guitarist, but one thing I have learned is how to strum, how to use strumming as part of the complete sound of a guitar. So I thought I would share a couple of those things. But before I go into that, I wanted to introduce this guitar to you. You know that I recommend buying a used guitar, especially as your first guitar, for several reasons. One is you're going to save some money, but still get a quality instrument. So this Ibanez, it's a V200. It's a good guitar put together in Mexico, and the reason I am playing it today is because I think damage tends to scare people off of buying good quality instruments. And yes, damage can be an issue. I'm not saying it isn't, but it doesn't always mean that that instrument is not valuable or doesn't have the ability to still create wonderful sound. This one has been dropped. There's a pretty big chip out of the finish here. And the main thing I wanted to draw your attention to is there's a pretty significant crack here from the binding here at the bottom to the bridge. And there's no separation there. There's no separation from the bracing inside. There's no buzzing, but it is a crack. It's there. You can see it. Cosmetically, that may not be the best thing, but cosmetic is not where we're headed. Now, sometimes you buy a guitar for cosmetics, and I totally understand that. Sometime I'll show you the Guild 12-string that was given to me, and it's maple, and I mean, it is stunning. So I understand that, but if you're looking for a guitar that's going to produce great sound, a guitar like this Ibanez is a good one to consider. And the crack, as you'll tell through this video, really does not make any difference at all. So just wanted to mention that. Okay, on to strumming. I think a lot of us think of guitar as this instrument that we can play, and it produces musical sound, and either whether you're just doing it to produce the musical sound for the guitar solo for itself, or you're going to sing, which is more my thing. I learned to play the guitar basically so I could accompany myself in singing and playing, and then got into writing music and all that kind of stuff, all using the guitar. And so it's a wonderful solo instrument. The piano, also a wonderful solo instrument that can accompany and be its own thing as well. The guitar, though, has something over the piano. Now, good pianists would disagree with me maybe on this. It's not that the piano can't be percussive, but it doesn't have the breadth of percussion that a guitar brings. The guitar, especially strumming, you can add all kinds of percussive elements, and part of it is just this. The pick across the strings adds percussion to the sound. So in a sense, it broadens the sound. And whether you're playing solo or you're playing with a band, that percussive element brings something, it adds something to the music that is really dynamic and really, for lack of a better term, beautiful. So don't give up on that. Keep working on strumming, making it better and better. Make it something that's unique to you, and that really adds to the fullness of the sound as you're learning and playing the guitar. All right, so just a couple things about the guitar and strumming. One is there is no right way to strum, so don't get caught up in that. Strumming is very unique. Rhythm guitarists do not strum alike. The better you are, the more you practice, the better you are at picking out where your pick is hitting the strings, so you're not having errant notes and that kind of thing. And sometimes those aren't bad. So just, don't give up, just keep practicing, but realize there's no perfect strumming. Nobody does it perfectly or the best. It's unique to each person. So rest in that. Don't get caught up in that. Just be your own person when you're strumming. Now, no two. So here's point one. The guitar has bass strings, low strings, and treble strings, high strings. A lot of times we think, oh, we're just going to play them all. And as long as you're playing a chord like E here that uses all the strings, you're fine. And it has a nice, big, loud sound. And that's great. But remember, you can kind of play this a little differently. You can play it like this. You can play down, you can play up, or you can separate bass from treble. So you can, you can get that kind of hit the bass, treble, treble, hit the bass, treble, treble. It's like that can happen, and those kind of things are really cool when you're strumming. It's not just that straight. It adds some interest, some excitement to the music. So that's one thing. Another thing is that in this bass thing, you can play different, obviously, bass notes that will add to the chord. So if you're playing A minor 7, and I wanted to walk down, then I might play so that kind of thing where you're actually, again, strumming, but you're separating out the bass. Again, that's probably a little bit of an advanced skill, but still, just to give you the idea of the bass strings can be strummed separately from the treble strings. So don't, again, it's kind of experimentation. Everybody plays it a little differently. All right, the second thing is, you have down strokes and you have up strokes. Obviously, the down strokes hit the lower strings first, and then the upper strings, and then the up strokes hit the more treble, higher strings first, and then come down to the low strings. Some people, when they're strumming, especially when they're first starting out, they just back, forth, back, forth. But I think you'll be happier with your overall strumming sound if you focus more on the downbeat. And some of this has to do with the type of music you're playing. Rock music especially, or pop music, that down is important. So many, there are chords, power chords that are you're gonna just play down because it gives that strong percussive sound. This is a little blues, but basically it's all down. So, don't think that you have to always go down and up. Work on that just down stuff. So those things can be very great. Hope you're hearing that percussive sound, that and you'll notice too that I'm hitting the guitar with my hand, which also adds some percussion. You know, you can, if your guitar doesn't have a truss rod in it, you can just cut this thing off and make this into a little, you know, strapped cajon if you want. The guitar adds all kinds of things when it comes to percussion and sound. So again, so it's bass and treble, first point, and then downstrokes as well as upstrokes. And sometimes, in fact, in most music, the downs should outweigh the up. The up should be the like the fill or the counter beat. So if we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, but your upstrokes are going to be on the offbeat. 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that upstroke can kind of give some more of a syncopated sound or syncopated feel to the song. Again, that kind of depends on the song you're playing, but focus on increasing your downstrokes and limiting your upstrokes. Okay, so finally, the third point I'd like to make, and I don't want to go too deep into all this because a lot of it's just practice and creating your own thing, but you've got to match your strumming to the song. Okay, so and every song has its own unique feel. There are a lot of words that musicians use, you know, groove. A song has a groove, or a song has a vibe, or a song has, you know, this kind of feel about it. And different songs have different feels, and you want your strumming to match that feeling. You want to portray that feeling with your strumming. So I was playing some, you know, some boogie woogie blues kind of thing. That has a certain feel to it, you know. So you want it to be that way, and you want your strumming to kind of bring that out. And then if you're playing more of a full sound, then you might want to have it sound more full. Or if you're in a different time signature, so like 4/4, 1, 2, 3, 4, but 6/8, which is also a very common signature for guitar and pop especially. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. So if you get that kind of feel, you know, that's a different feel than. So you just have to listen to the song. You've got to kind of analyze the song, and then try to work your strum to actually fit within that song. And I said that was going to be the final point, but there's one more point. And this is mostly within a band. If you're playing solo, you're the everything, right? So it's important that your guitar is loud and full. If you are playing with a band, remember that you're just part of the sound, and you don't have to fill every space. You've got to allow space for other instruments to have their part of the complete sound. So that is a whole skill unto itself, and maybe we can talk about that in another video. But just remember, if you're playing with other people, you don't have to be the everything. Because you have 3 people that are being the everything, it can just sound like chaos and noise. And that's not where we're trying to go in music, although I suppose there's a place for noise in music. But for most of us, it's not. So until next time, keep working on that strumming, and just have a great week.